Welcome to our live transfer show. Now, a big part of this is going to be discussing a very exciting young dynamic winger called Yan Diomande, a new target for Manchester United. What type of player is it? We'll dive deep into that. We're also going to talk about Ruben Neves and midfield situations, maybe even a Loftus-Cheek in there. People kind of playing that down slightly, but maybe some business still to be done in January. We're also going to talk about Patrick Dorgu's development and words being said around how Ruben Amorim handled his situation. And there's some other stuff on Nicky Butt and a certain agency being involved with them, which I think is very interesting. But we'll get into that towards the end. The main, like I said at the start, the crop of the show is going to be about this very, very talented boy, which I didn't know much about. So I've done a bit of digging on him. Before I do dive into that, Sam, first and foremost, how are you? And have you heard much about this kid yourself? Or
No, I heard his name batted around for the last couple of weeks. I know Laurie touched on it a few weeks ago, and now there's like a bit more coming out of it and stuff like that. So yeah, don't know much about him, but we know Leipzig, they find young, talented gems for hardly any money, and then they sell them for big fees. Obviously, we've got the Christopher Vivell connection.
Yeah,
is that something to do with it? So yeah, I think you always get excited when you hear about Leipzig prospects. Obviously, Benjamin Šeško is an example of that. Matthias Cunha, I think, played for Leipzig as well.
Dominic Szoboszlai as well.
So yeah, they've got a history of really good players, and this could be another one off the conveyor belt.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into what type of player he is and stuff. And you're right, T2 straight off the bat. City currently taking up the Bodo Glint. Magnificent.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
I think it's 2-0, is it, currently at the moment?
2-0, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we have ruined them, and now they are, Bodo Glimt's ruined them. I don't know what the standings are looking like in terms of the thing. I think it's still quite high in the table, but even still, come on. What's going on?
I was watching him, and they were attacking him, and it was just wide open. Like, if you attack City, they fall apart. Like, they can't handle it, like, at all. It's mad.
Does that make you feel worse, though, that we were so good? Because it's like, are they that bad at the back? Do you know what I mean?
But I've beaten City. I don't care if they've got defenders on one leg. I want to kick the shit out of them, so it's fine.
Yeah, I thought our attack, to be fair, was really, really good in that game. And this is going to come into the conversation because someone like this Yan Diomande, Sam, from Leipzig, what I always do is when I haven't heard of a certain player, rather than I do read scout notes, but I like watching videos. I learn better from videos, actually watching the player and what he's good at.
The eye test.
Yeah, the eye test, and also someone's opinion who I trust, who dives kind of deep into the players. And what they were saying basically was the majority of his performances or his best performances come from the right-hand side. He's a very unpredictable winger. He's direct, aggressive, and he's one of the hardest working wingers in Europe, which is all great and well to hear, right? You want someone who works hard, especially if you're going to bring them to the Premier League.
Yep.
But the case in point is we already have Ahmad and Mbumo, Cunha, Mount, Patrick Dorgu now, who will speak about a little bit later
can
on
play
the
out there as well.
Do we really need him? Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's going to be that expensive as well, we're talking 90, 100 million pound.
If he was a left-hand side, like a dedicated, like maybe that's
he
something.
can play there. Just
I know. But do you remember when we bought like a winger, a left winger, Sancho, and then he's like, "Yeah, I actually want to play on the right." And you're like, "For fuck's sake!" And Rashford was like, "All right, we'll put Rashford on the other side." He's like, "No, I want to play on the left." And you're like, "For fuck's sake!"
You don't want to shoot on more players, do you?
No, it's just like if he wants to play on the right, I think we've got too much competition. Like you said, Ahmad and Mbumo, Bruno can play out there. Like I just think I was looking at his. I don't know if you were going to get into stats, but I've seen a couple of stats. So like 6 goals this season. He's outperforming his expected goals by almost double. So he's got like 3.34. Expected goals per game 0.4, shots per game 1.6, big chances missed, which is that one worries me, is 3. So he does miss big opportunities.
Do we, in front of goal?
2 assists, which is below his expected assists, so there's a bit of a worry there. 43 touches per game, so he gets on a ball a lot. 4 big chances created, key passes 1.2 per game, so yeah, he's involved in a lot of the attacking phase of the game. His defending metrics aren't that good, but I think in this new Carrick system, I think there's less emphasis on the forwards going to get back and defending like there was in the previous system. So I'm not so much worried about that. He's 19, so he's not even reached his prime. He's not even anywhere near his prime yet. But why is everybody 100 million now? Elliot Anderson, 100 million. Carlos Baliba, 100 million. Yan Diomande, 100 million. Why is everybody 100? Like, why is that just the starting price nowadays? Like, it's ridiculous.
I think a lot of Premier League managers are looking for that jack-in-the-box kind of player, that Saint Maximum, that Doku, who sometimes when you come up against low blocks and you're struggling a little bit, they are the guys to do that.
Chaos.
Because naturally they bring a couple of defenders over towards him, which then opens up space for others. So in that department, when you look at him, he is a threat. You don't want him 1v1. He's dangerous. He's very, very good on both feet, which, again, someone like a Doku is. Michael Elise is good on both feet. So that's the reason why they're looking at it. Do you feel like maybe we need a Doku type, in your opinion, when we do play these teams near the bottom? Or do you think we have that in our arsenal currently?
I think I like the idea of a chaos, like a chaos engine coming on and just sort of like making fullbacks go, oh, for fuck's sake, this is gonna be a pain in the ass, because I think Cunha is slightly predictable. However, he is extremely strong on the ball and he runs through people, but you know what he wants to do. In Bumo and Ahmad, I think there's a bit of unpredictability. I think fullbacks in particular hate playing against Ahmad because he'll run at them, and they're like, they don't like being on the back foot. So if he can bring some sort of that, then yeah, I get it. Did he go to AFCON as well this year?
Yeah, he was with Ahmad.
Yeah, he's with Ahmad. So there you go. So I don't know how he did in AFCON. I was just looking now. He scored a goal in AFCON against Burkina Faso. Yeah. So yeah,
he was one of the talents. So that when they was mentioning 3 players going to this AFCON, he was one of the names that was mentioned.
Was he on the list?
Keep an eye on this kid. Like he's a wonder kid and he's coming up through. And like we said at the start of the show, everyone knows Leipzig is a breeding ground for talent. They've produced so many top class players, and just the Red Bull group in general, like a lot of players have come through there. They've got a fantastic scouting system, and because we have a Vavell, he'll know him very well, and he'll also have contacts there. So I'm going to trust that more than just going out on a whim and saying, oh, we'll go buy him. Do you know what I mean? Because there'll be more research on the actual player. You mentioned a couple of stats before. One I wanted to get into was ball carrying and ball progression. So 61% dribble success rate. His progressive runs per night is exceptional. Carries into the final third, elite numbers in the 99th percentile out of anyone in Europe. So that's top level. And for comparison, better ball carrying numbers than Semenyo. And anyone who's watched Semenyo in the Premier League, that is what he's dangerous at. And that's the reason why Man City have bought him. So you can see why we're looking at the kid. It seems like there's a lot of clubs that are very, very interested. But there is that old adage that buying from Germany is a risk. And it can favour you sometimes, and it can not favour you sometimes. So how would you feel about that in general?
Yeah, it's not the best league, is it, in comparison to the Premier League? Like, if you look at leagues, I think France is probably the best comparison in terms of physicality and sort of like speed and things like that. I think that's the best comparison. Other leagues, but yeah, like you said, it's hit and miss. Germany, we've not had much luck. Sesko looks like he might be one of them where you're like, okay, this might work. Other players, not so much. Spain is sometimes hit and miss. Portugal, we seem to have a good hit rate with. Portugal seem to like get the managers. No, yeah. Portugal, we seem to have a good hit rate with as well. Yeah. So yeah, Germany's always, like you said, is sometimes a lottery with players because we've bought players there before and it's never gone well. Italy is very similar. Like I think buying players from Italy is always a risk just because the league is totally different from the Premier League.
Yeah, there does seem to be more attacking players coming out from Germany, especially recently. You think about how well Marmoush was doing for Frankfurt, and then he went for 78. Ekitike for Frankfurt, 78. Voltamado, yeah, spot on, 60, 70 million. Wirtz went for 100 million as well. Like a lot of talent's being poached from the Bundesliga. Some good, some bad. For me right now, I'm looking at it and thinking, why on earth are you going to spend £100 million on a winger when we have so many attacking players? Like you're missing
an unproven winger at this rate.
They're missing the point again. Like we don't need investment in those areas. We've got enough attacking players. We need midfielders. We need a right back, in my opinion. I like Mazraoui.
I agree.
But I think I want good competition or a better player than Mazraoui and have Mazraoui as a backup rather than Dallo there. And God knows what's going to happen with Maguire's situation.
Might need a left back as well, because if you play Dorgu up front in the wing position, you've only got Luke Shaw.
So it doesn't really make sense from a recruitment perspective. But just to kind of sum this Yan Diomande section up. I read a quote from a scout, and he said, he's an elite ball carrier and workhorse winger with real end products, but to reach the next level, his positioning, creativity, and aerial presence all need refining. That's too much of a risk for me, personally.
Especially at that price point, 100 million. Like, for 100 million, you want the finished article.
Yeah.
You want, like, Carlos Baliba.
Double the price of Doku. What City paid for Doku.
Yeah. It's 40 million more than Semenyo. And we all were like, yeah, Semenyo is a top player. So it's 40 million more than he is. Yeah. And if you're paying 60 million for Semenyo, I'd be all right with that, because you're like, all right, proven player has done it.
Yeah.
You'd be all right. But like 100 million for an unproven winger who's arguably, he's definitely got talent, but
way too much.
He's done nothing yet. Like, so yeah, it's such a weird starting point. That, like, yeah, you can have 100 million. That's a bizarre starting point. Really is. Florian Wirtz like fucked up the whole German
you see
model.
Transfers like that, don't you? I think Neymar did that, had a huge effect on the market. As soon as he went for like 150, that then raised the bar for a load of the transfers.
Coutinho was another one as well.
Yeah, Grealish 100 mil when he went as well. Like, there's one, I think Ousmane Dembele got sold for like 130 or something outrageous. So yeah, just open a bit. And obviously sometimes clubs come out and say that, don't they, to get a big bargaining position. So they might think, okay, realistically, we probably want 75, 80 million. If we go straight out the gates and say we want 100 or nothing less, it gives us a stronger bargaining position.
Sure.
But I would be astounded if United spent that much money on a winger. I think it would be I actually think it was stupid to go do that.
I don't think we'll spend anything over 70, 75 for anybody. I think Sesko was the top end of what we're willing to spend on transfers. I don't see United spending 3 figures on a transfer. Like, I just don't see it.
And I'm sure there's wingers out there as well who, I mean, we got Ahmad. I know he was pricey at the time, but we got Ahmad, who was a young gem and a lot of people excited about him in Italy, for 35 million. And that was deemed expensive at the time as well. And that was only 5 years ago or whatever it was. So I'm sure there's plenty of young wingers out there that you can spend half the money on if you do want someone of that kind of mold. Doesn't make sense to me. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Go to France. Over the summer. Like, the talent in the French league is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the prices isn't that bad, because it's a 1-team league. Don't have a much TV deal. Like, the exposure isn't that high. So you can get deals, don't like Ryan Shirky had a release clause for, what was it, 25?
Yeah.
Like, there's shit to do. Like, they don't have much money, so you could do deals. And I think that's much more thing. Like, just look at Marseille, look at Lyon, look at those type of teams. There'll be players there you could definitely pick up for 20, 30 million who might arguably be as good as Diomande, if not turn out to be better.
Yeah.
100 million is ridiculous.
I think the poll speaks for itself. We put a question out: is Diomande worth 100 million? 17% said yes, and 83% said no. Who the
fuck is saying yes? Yeah. Who's saying yes?
Probably
make yourself known.
Yeah,
make yourself known. That's ridiculous.
In other transfer news, we had, I think Nathan Salt and Chris Wheeler's been quite busy today. They put an article out with quite a few interesting bits in there. Apparently, United have rejected offers from Ajax and Galatasaray for Manuel Ugarte. My first question is, why?
Yes.
Why?
Why? The Ajax was a loan, wasn't it?
There's no obligation in there. Is it just a straight loan?
I don't know. It didn't have any more detail other than it. They went for a loan for Ugarte, and United said no. So
interesting.
The
loan I kind of get it, like, because you're not gonna just get rid of a midfielder for the sake of it, right? You want a bit of cover in there. That I get. But if there's real opportunity, market opportunity to a loan with an obligation, or you're gonna get money back from it,
sure.
Which Galatasaray will pay decent money anyway. Doesn't really make sense to me why you wouldn't go for that, unless you just don't want a last-minute turnaround to rooting for a midfielder and panicking. I don't know.
Maybe because if you lose, like, say you lose Ugarte, and then everybody knows we need midfielders anyway right now.
Yeah.
You lose Ugarte, you're then in a desperate position, and clubs might just start jacking prices up on players and just trying to charge United a fortune and trying to think. And maybe United don't want to be in that position, and they want to sort of keep their powder dry until the summer when they can sort of negotiate in a proper environment rather than from a point of desperation, which they would be if they let Ugarte go.
Yeah. The expand on this is say United are still deliberating over whether to sign a new midfielder this month. They're expected to hold a meeting at Carrington this week when Carrick will join Wilcox, Vavell and other key figures to discuss the possibilities. United have been looking at midfielders since the summer and may also consider signing a left winger. They're reluctant to pay a fee and would prefer a loan move until the end of the season. They're unlikely to move for Ruben Neves or Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Two Rubens there. Again, history of Rubens, not great, but if they want to go for one of them, that's fine. Yeah, if it's not going to be something like a Neves or a Loftus-Cheek, obviously Gallagher's just gone to Tottenham.
Yep.
I can't think of anyone else, can you?
Steeler, 35. I've mentioned him quite a lot. I think that's a decent price point. Maybe you could do a loan.
A release clause, though?
Yeah, release clause.
It is. Okay.
Maybe you could do a loan with an obligation that you'll trigger his release clause in the summer.
It all depends on what season they're having in it. He plays for Stuttgart, right?
Yeah. He had a great season last season, which is why he came to prominence. I'm not sure how they're doing this season.
Yeah, so the fourth, to be fair.
There you go.
They are not going to let one of their most important players go.
Yeah,
are they?
Fair point.
If they're on 33 points at the minute, they're in the top 4, just above Leipzig. If going to them and saying, "Can we have your starting defensive midfielder?" It's going to be very, very tricky.
Unless you trigger his release clause, obviously. If you trigger the release clause, then you can get him. But it doesn't seem like United want to spend money this summer, January. Like I know there was money for Semenyo for a market opportunity, but apparently that's not transferable where you can use that money to another player. Apparently, I don't know why, but that's the reasoning that was given to Ruben Amorim.
Maybe because they was going to go get him in the summer anyway, innit? So it's like, we'll just take for now, and and the midfield targets that they've got in the summer are definitely not going to be available in January, so that's why they can't switch to that, which makes sense to me. T2 saying madness to sell Ugarte right now. We only have 3 midfielders, and Cass can't play 90. Not to say he shouldn't go in the summer. Yeah, the summer feels like it's a better market for him to go. I'm interested to see who they bring in, if they bring in anyone at all, because I have no one off the top of my head who I'm thinking, they can go get that player. He'll make a real difference. Loans to me, 80% of the time. When was the last time we had a really good loan player, Sam?
Spitzer was all right. I thought he did all right. No, I liked him. I thought he did all right. Henrik Larsson, maybe under Fergie.
What was that?
That might be the last one.
7, 6, something like that.
Yeah, that might be the last one. Vegos.
Cavani was a loan initially.
No, we bought him. His contract ended, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Vegos, God love him, but he wasn't any good.
Just for the banter, Vegos,
really,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the last loan. Garlo was like, meh. Who else is there? We have a loan.
There isn't anyone. United don't loan players traditionally. Like we don't really loan players. Like we've only done it in the past because of emergency and like money issues and stuff. So the only one I could think of that made a difference was Henrik Larsson under Fergie.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at previous seasons now to see if there's 2024-25. Do we not loan anyone there? No. Sofian Amrabat, Region. Do you remember them?
Sofian Amrabat was good
for one game
for the FA Cup final. That was worth it. I would say that was worth it.
Literally one game, and then you never seen from him again. I mean, Paul Scholes was calling him fucking Gattuso and everything.
Yeah.
And then
in that one game, he was, to be fair.
Yeah. Igalo, we've already mentioned. They've never been super successful, so I wouldn't feel overly ambitious if it was like, we're going to bring in a lone player. I'd be like, all right, kind of it is what it is. Whatever. Into other news, more based around youngsters, these kind of Ineos signings that we see when they look around Europe or even within kind of British football. United have made a bid apparently around 450,000 for Sheffield Wednesday's highly rated 17-year-old left back Yissa Allo, with Liverpool also weighing up a similar offer and other clubs waiting in the wings. What I thought was interesting about this was, isn't Harry Hamas on loan at Sheffield Wednesday?
Yes.
What is his thoughts if he's thinking, they're buying a young wing back in my position? I'm definitely not going back there, innit? That must be his thought process.
I mean, Harry Hamas is further along in his development than I would say this kid is. is Harry Amos has gone out on loan, obviously, to Sheffield Wednesday, and he's actually played in the first team for United. So, yeah, I'd say he's further along in his development, but it does seem like this is the Ineos model, isn't it? Like, go after young talent, and if they don't make it, sell them for a profit. By
like
feature
Leon.
on loan.
What's happened with Leon?
I don't know. Sekou Kone is training with Lausanne, but he's not officially on loan, so he's not playing for them. So I don't know what is happening there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they seem like they're doing the Chelsea model, but just not as extreme as Chelsea do it, where they just buy 30, 40 players and hope one of them works. So yeah, it seems to be the new model of football, doesn't it? Get young talent, see what they're like. If they fit into the first team, fantastic. If not, you can sell them for a profit.
Yeah, I would like a young wing back to come through though, because I think we've had, we bought Aiden Heaven, who's a young kid who looks like he's going to be a top centre back. Same with Yoro. We don't have wing backs, do we? Who are really pushing through. No. Like with Dorgu moving forward, who we'll speak about next. You just mentioned Shaw needing someone behind him and pushing him. We need an exciting player, I think, at left back. Someone who's got a lot of potential. That was Dorgu. Now Dorgu's moved to left wing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you agree. I think his position's better.
He did. Top. He has such a bigger impact on games further 100%. Up the field. Like, I think he is strong, he's physical, and he does like work hard. But I just think his impact on the sort of going forward and the attacking output, I think is so much better going at the front. So yeah, Luke Shaw, and again, the history of injuries. How long? I know we're only playing one game a week, but say we get into Europe next season. What, we're just gonna hope he doesn't get injured? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we need somebody. We definitely need someone there
for sure. Yeah, especially look at other teams when they can just bring in players. I mean, Arsenal have got fucking Ben White, Calafiore, Urian Timber, who could play in wing back spot. Lewis Skelly, who's a highly rated player. Like, they've got 4 solid wing backs who would start for fucking most teams.
You got, even like Chelsea, you got Reece James, Malagusto, who I would take in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I like.
Levi Colwell can play fullback. I know he's injured right now. Cucurella is there, so like they've got depth as well. Like even Liverpool, like up until recently, had depth. Like they had Robertson, Connor Bradley,
Kirkes,
like they had Kirkes, Frimpong. Like they've got depth. It just seems like we're really short. Oh, there's a cat.
Yeah, smashing shit.
Even turns out it's not my cat this time. It's your cat destroying shit.
Someone thought, you know what? I'll make an appearance. He's that fat because he's trying to walk through the blinds.
Yeah,
you can't get through. It's just catching. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Just move all that shit out of the way for me so I can.
There we go. As long as you're happy, mate. He's just. Fuck's sake, just getting tangled in the. What are you doing? All right, stay there. Okay, right. Back to Let me get my thoughts back. We were talking about left wing, left backs. Patrick Dorgu, there's a couple of bits coming out from Stephen Railston, who we've had on the show before. Very good journalist, especially around the academy and around Carrington and stuff. He was speaking about Bruno Fernandes, along with other members of United's senior leadership group, spoke to Patrick Dorgu, following Ruben Amorim's criticism. Dorgu, I can't fucking.
You might want to check.
What are you doing? Fuck's sake, man. I'm trying to be professional here. Dorgu also received support from Aiden Heaven, Lenny Yoro, and Kobe Mainu, who are the players closest to him in the dressing room. When you reflect back on that situation with Dorgu and Amorim, do you think that was bad management from him?
I think it's a tried and tested technique, but I think saying it in public was a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, say it to him behind the scenes. Like, I think Fergie did that a lot, didn't he? Like, in public, he would back a player, but behind the scenes, he'd absolutely, like, tear him to pieces. So I think it's a try and test it. Like, oh, you need to improve on this. And then they go out, well, I'll show you. And they go out and they perform. So I understand the process. But yeah, saying it in public, I don't think a manager should ever come out and tear down his own player in public in an interview or anything like that. I just don't think that's a good option, because who does that benefit? It gives all the papers, clicks, and journalists to write a load of shit. The player's going to feel shit. The rest of the squad are going to feel shit. Like, the story goes on, people trying to sort of rally around him and stuff. Yeah, I think that's a bad way to do it.
I think it works sometimes, but only more with experienced players. So I think Unai Emery's done it quite a few times. At Aston Villa, where he's had a player like Watkins, for example. Watkins at the start of the season, he hadn't scored in a bit. It was like had a real kind of dry spell, I can't remember the specific words, but Unai Emery came out and said something that was quite like, oh, that's interesting. And you get a reaction from that sometimes.
Sure.
But when he's coming out and saying, he's anxious and these kind of things, it's like, okay, like we can kind of see that on the pitch, but we don't need you vocalizing that in a press conference. No. I didn't really understand that. And from all the reports around training, loads of people saying he does loads of extras. He works really, really hard. He's focusing on improving his crossing technique and all these little bits of his game. And now when you've watched him in the past couple of games, I think he's got 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 6 appearances or something, which is outrageous. It's mad how much his development has changed, hasn't it, in such a small time period.
But, like, people forget as well, like, what is he, 20, 21? Like, he's not that old. Like, he's still a young player. He's only, like, a year older than Kobe. Like, he's come from Lecce, who, let's be honest, were not fighting at the top of the Serie A at the time.
Relegation, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not, it's like he's a star who's come in. Like, so he needed to be given time and to bed in and develop and stuff like that. And players could have ups and downs and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems like he's thriving now because his confidence is up. He's impacting games. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists. He's got players behind him, like absolutely backing him, like Bruno and Kobe and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely thrilled for the guy. Like I love it. Like if it carries on this way, the Ineos recruitment model pays off again. What do we pay, like 20-something million for him? And if he comes in and keeps having an impact like that over the next like couple of years, then it's a bargain, isn't it? At the end of the day, like you've worked out really, really well.
What I'm most impressed with is the physical side of things, because everyone knows now the Premier League is the most physical league in the world.
He fights like fuck, doesn't he? Like,
yeah, the duels and the battles and how much he gets back. I think it's really important. You looked at, I think Jamie Carragher and Thierry Henry did
really good
analysis on Monday Night Football, and they spoke about Ahmad and Dorgu. And I literally mentioned it before the game in the pre-match build-up. I said the reason why he's playing both of them there is because he was used as wing-backs in Amorim's system. So they do have that natural, those blinkers on defensive lens to track back and get in the right positions. And I think they had the most sprints out of anyone by far in that Manchester Derby game. And for me now, I'm looking at that left wing spot and he's staying there. I'm not putting anyone else. I'm not putting Mount there. I'm not even putting Cunha there, which sounds crazy. But if you want actual proper wingers, if you're going to go to this traditional 4-4-2 type style and go with proper wingers, I think Dorgu's the only more natural winger that we have. Well, he played on the left-hand side.
He played it as a winger for Lecce for most of the season before we bought him.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like it's different, foreign to him. Like he's done it before for a season, so he understands the position, and he's clearly got attacking instincts because he's scoring goals. So it's not like it's something like he's being forced into a position where he's not quite sure and he's having to adapt. So yeah, I like him there a lot. I think Cunha has uses, but when you're doing, like you said, this 4-4-2 system, is he a best fit there? Maybe his better fit is in the 10. Obviously, Bruno's going to play that a lot. But I do like that the substitutions that we had against City, we had depth on the bench. Yeah. It's like if you could bring Mbeumo off and put Cunha on, like fucking hell, that is a hell of an upgrade. Are they going to be happy
to be a sub though? That's the only issue you have, isn't it?
When obviously this year is going to be difficult because we've only got one game week, but hopefully next year you get into Europe, people will get playing time. Then,
definitely.
Competition and stuff. So maybe it's just for like say to them, look lads, once we get back into Europe, we'll figure this out. But they're having him to come off and bringing him on, having Sesko to come off and bringing someone like Shea Lacey on. Like we've got depth finally on the bench, and that's what every other team has. Like City started against us, and we said it in the preview. Shirky didn't start. Thingy didn't start. Like there was loads of people who didn't start.
Rangers, I think, was on the bench as well.
Like loads of players we'd spoke about and they didn't start. And it's like that's where we need to get to, have like quality in every position, depth and stuff like 100%. That. And I like it now. Like we're getting there slowly, but obviously more needed for sure.
100%. Maltese Devil saying, have you noticed our kids really do look their ages compared to other youngsters at other clubs? Camerson and Mantato look very lightweight as potential wing backs. Yeah, to be honest, I've not seen too much. I've seen Mantato probably a handful of games, so I need to see a little bit more of him. But I do agree when Amorim, when we got a bit lightweight, when players were at AFCON and stuff, and they did come in, they didn't look ready just yet. Like Chido wasn't ready. Diego Leon isn't ready. The Fletcher brothers weren't ready, so they need a bit more.
That's why Amas has gone on loan as well. Like he's quite lightweight in his sort of like he's good going forward and on the ball and stuff like that, but his physicality and defending obviously needs a lot of work, which why he's gone to Wednesday.
Yeah, City 3-0 down now to Bodo Glimt. If that doesn't deserve a like in the video, I don't know what does. Man City down 3-0 to Bodo Glimt. Crazy times.
Even we beat Bodo Glimt, and we're shite. We beat them.
Nixon Candling, big up Nixon, saying, go on the boys in the chat. T2 saying, I wasn't sold on Dorgu at the start, but you need players in the squad who can do a job in a few positions, the likes of O'Shea, Early Fletcher. I would say Patrick Neville then.
Patrick Neville?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is that Phil and Gary's brother?
Yeah, Patrick Neville. He does sound like a real person, but he's not. Phil Neville. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. A crazy 3-0 to Bodo Glimt.
That's insane.
Mental. Do you see the comment from Mark Gahey? He obviously did an interview. He signed officially today, didn't he? And one of the comments, the quotes was, "I can't wait to get inside the stadium." The quote. Yeah, and feel the noise and the excitement, and everyone's reading it, and you're going, "Mark, mate."
I don't think you.
Yeah, it's not like that, pal. Your own manager has come out and criticised the fans of not creating enough noise.
Begged them to come to the stadium. He also said, when City calls, like, you have to go. I was like, I'm sure it wasn't the 300 grand that called you to go, was it, Mark?
Helps him sleep at night. Yeah. Very, very bizarre.
Yeah, ridiculous comment, that. Ridiculous.
Last topic, we did quite a big section on this yesterday, so I don't have to spend too long on it. But again, from Chris Wheeler, Nathan Salt, the United squad have expressed frustration within the dressing room that ex-players and pundits seem to kick the club when they're down to draw attention to themselves. While they accept constructive criticism, there's a concern that it's becoming personal. Also added as well, Nicky Butter signed up to a new social media platform, Peak, with Paul Scholes also in talks with the company. Peak will allow high-profile sports figures to share their opinions in return for a share of the profits. That's being reported at the moment. This, isn't it weird how these things are surfacing when we've just won a massive, massive game?
Yeah.
Like, you almost see this reaction if we lose badly to like a Liverpool or someone.
Yeah.
So you expect it. But when we win, and when there's a bit of confidence and an upturn, why
when
now?
It gets you rival, and when it gets you rivals as well, like your Manchester rivals, like
it's just the bitterness and the saltiness. Just give it a rest, lads. Come on, give us like a couple of games. Let us breathe a little bit. Let the players breathe a little bit. They just put in a stellar performance, in my opinion. 5-star performance against Manchester City. Absolutely, played them off the park at Old Trafford. What more could you possibly want? Leave them the fuck alone and let them just crack on.
There wasn't anything in the game as well that you could criticize, apart from Dalot. Like, you can't really criticize anything in that performance. Like, there was nothing wrong with that performance. Every single player did their job and worked hard. There was nothing, like, Haaland didn't get a sniff. Nobody got anything on target apart from that header. Like, there was nothing in that performance where I went, we need to do better there. Nothing. So I don't know where the negativity is coming from. And like the sort of report says, it has to be personal, because I don't know what they've seen in that game where they've gone, I need to go at them. Because it must be personal. Obviously, the Keane thing with Carrick's wife, that is definitely personal.
Oh, yeah.
And the Butt thing, Nicky Butt thing and Paul Scholes, obviously they doubled down on it now, rather than just coming out and saying, we shouldn't have said that, blah, blah, blah. So it does seem personal now. Like, it doesn't seem, like I said, it's not criticism or analysing the performances like Thierry Henry did and Jamie Carragher did. It's just, it becomes personal mudslinging now, doesn't it?
Yeah, mudslinging is probably the perfect way to describe it. They just scored as well, City Churka 3-1. It should be an interesting game. I'm going to pop that on in a moment. But before we let you go, whether it's live viewers or viewers, sometimes we know people like watching it a little bit later on. If I could just pop our brand new merchandise on the screen for you guys. Have a look on our website. The link is in the description. We have hoodies, we have caps, we have mugs for everything. For whatever it is you need, we've released 3 items, and we've a lot of thoughts gone into it, a lot of time. So we appreciate it. Just take a look, have a look if you want to get anything, be our guest. But we wanted something out there because we're working on it for a while. We just wanted something to represent our brand, represent us, the same color scheme. And I'm a fan. As you can see, I've been wearing this.
Roger's just been sent off.
Oh, wow. Wow.
What is happening in this game?
That's a shit show there, isn't it?
Oh, dear Lord.
Show. Also, as well, last thing, if you want to drop us a follow on socials over on Instagram and X, all our handles are on your screen. Instagram, very, very close to 10,000 now. TikTok's going off.
So close.
and Twitter as well, also for just kind of a more basic teletext news feed for on all things featured around Manchester United. So yeah, I think I'm done bugging you with the plugs, and I mean that can be taken out of context, but
yeah.
Anyway, good. I'll talk myself into a hole. Enjoy your rest of your day, people. Champions League football on tonight. It's a couple of interesting fixtures. Don't watch Inter Milan and Arsenal because that is just going to be the most boring fucking corners game you've ever seen in your life. Go and watch an exciting game. I don't know who else is playing.
There's Dortmund Spurs. Dortmund might absolutely batter Spurs.
That's got to be Thomas Frank's last game. Has to be.
Possibly.
Has to be.
Possibly.
He's had a stinker, mate. So yeah, maybe I'll hate watch on Spurs.
One last thing, J Motti on Thursday. Please do come check that out. Always an absolute riot laugh like with J Motti on. God knows what he's going to say or what he will do, but it's always fun and it's always enjoyable. So please do come check that out on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up.